Hello, Yavna students. Welcome to the Kazam art room. Today we're going to be showing you how to do a very cool project at home using basic supplies like cardboard boxes, and we're going to be making a really cool sculpture using these recycled cardboard boxes, cutting them up into shapes and gluing them together to make some interesting designs. This one is abstract, so it doesn't have to look like anything in particular, but if you want to make something specific, a cityscape, skyscrapers, airplane, robot, whatever you want, you can build it, or you can just have fun building and making something abstract like we did over here. So for this project, you will need cardboard boxes. One box is fine, I mean, depending on how big it is. Toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls. If you have colored boxes, like from shoe boxes or other deliveries that you got that are already colored and painted, you can use those too. And you need scissors, you need some glue. Whoops. I like Elmer's Glue All. I think it's the best glue for this project. You can try other glue, but I just hope it doesn't end up being too weak for this project. I like to put the glue for kids into a cup and use a brush to apply the glue. If you don't have any kind of cheap brush, you can also use, a Q-tip, either a long one, that would be nice, or even a short one, and then you can throw it out after. So the first thing you're going to have to do is cut out a base for the sculpture. So everything is going to be built up on this square, rectangle, whatever shape you want to make it. So everyone will get a base. Then, depending on how old you are, you might just be able to cut everything out yourself.
I found this on the web.
Or you might need some help. Maybe an adult can cut a big box into some strips, and then the kids, you guys can cut these into shapes. So before you start working, you want to have a big pile of shapes ready to go. So I'm gonna cut out some rectangles, some triangles, some shapes. I like to make them different sizes, some bigger shapes, some smaller shapes. You want to cut off these ripped up edges because they're going to be hard to use in your sculpture. So I'm cutting that off, and I'll cut this off too. And then I'm just going to go on an angle, this, like this, like this. Again, if you want to make something specific and you need round shapes, you can cut those out. They're a little bit harder to do, but you can make rounded shapes if you want. Like I'm gonna cut a rounded shape. Maybe someone will want to use that. So once you have your shapes ready, oh, one more thing I almost forgot. If you want to make some designs with this corrugated cardboard that has this ridgy design, with these nice ridges and they're easy to fold, you could just take a piece of cardboard, separate it. If it's already ripped, that's good, and kind of pull it apart. So you're pulling this. Sometimes it works better than others. So I'm gonna cut this into a slim, long rectangle, and you could just, do you see that? Rip it off to reveal the corrugated cardboard underneath. So this one is not working as well, but you can try at home. And oh, here, I think this one. See, this one is already kind of ripped. This is much easier to use. I'm just gonna rip that off. Oops. And now you can use some corrugated cardboard that easily bends into some cool shapes. And I mean, if you have a stapler at home and you want to staple it, that might be easier. Otherwise, glue should still work. All right, so are you guys ready to start building your sculptures?
Yes.
Oh, so let's squeeze some glue into this cup, and I'm gonna give them some brushes. And when you take a piece, first you should look for this. The cardboard shapes usually have sides that have, some have this corrugated wavy design, and some sides might just have like a straight, like this, like a straight line going through it. The ones that have the corrugated wavy edge usually are the sturdier ones, the stronger ones. So you're going to take the glue and you're going to brush it on to whatever side. I like this side that has the corrugated edge. Okay, Mikey, you'll do the next one. And then you're going to press it down. Here, Mikey, decide where you want this to go. Rafi, you can start doing it also. And this is a little tricky part, and it gets easier as you start building. Oh, look, Mikey's is standing even though he held it for 2 seconds. Sometimes you have to hold it. If it's a bigger piece, you have to hold it a little bit longer. And once the bottom layer is dry, you can start. You'll need some more glue, Mikey. More glue. Yes, Raf?
You could also start bending a little.
Yeah, if you
and
want
then it goes like this.
Yes, you have like a bridge. You can make a bridge shape. I almost forgot. For your toilet paper rolls, you can leave it whole and just stick it like that. Or you can cut it in half and glue half down. You can cut it open and you can have it an easier bridge like this. Maybe it's a lot thinner. So once your bottom layer is all dry, then that one looks like you have to hold it a little longer. And even if something just keeps on wobbling, I would just find something to hold it up for a few minutes. So this can rest here on this glue bottle while it's drying. It could take a few minutes. Sometimes you can't move it. Mikey, you have to let go. Okay, and let it dry. And then once the first layer is dry, you can build up. So I did a little sample over here, and you can see I have 3 layers on this, and I just waited enough time for each layer to be dry and sturdy enough that I can build the next floor and the next floor. And this is a project that you can come back to anytime and start making some shapes that are, really getting big and interesting, or maybe spreading it out horizontally, building up vertically. Remember to keep turning your project around to make sure it's looking interesting from all sides. And when it's totally dry, you can decorate it. So here we used different kinds of paints. If you have paint at home, and I guess that would be, maybe the best way to do it. You can also use cardboard that already has some color on it. You can also color on cardboard with Sharpie markers, with regular markers, crayon, maybe a white crayon on the cardboard could look really cool. So there's really many ways that you can go about doing this project. And if you've already done this in your years at Yavna, you can do it again. You can do the same project 10 times and do it differently every single time. So I look forward to seeing your creations very soon. Bye.